Yo, 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 welcome back to That's Fyre, episode 93. I'm back. I'm your host, DJ JD. Have missed the last couple of weeks, 4th of July week. I took the week and didn't do a podcast, and then that weekend I was at the Gorge. So, seeing ODESZA was incredible. And then the week after, I had to rebook my flight. The airlines are crazy nowadays. Rebook my flight. Plane wasn't cool and whatever the fuck. So I didn't even get back to Arizona for the trip was a few days longer than anticipated. Wasn't able to do a podcast last week, but it doesn't matter, we're back. No excuses. Just facts. But, we're going to talk about my Gorge experience, ODESZA. I mean, I genuinely don't know if I even want to or have to go back to the Gorge. That's how insane and incredible that show was. And that venue is unreal. But, the show itself, ODESZA, they were so phenomenal that I don't know who would have to perform for me to get back there. I don't think it can be topped. I don't know if you guys have seen those memes of Jesus playing the guitar at Red Rocks. Maybe that would get me back at the Gorge, but other than that, I don't really know, dude. I don't really know. But yeah, the Gorge, Comfort in Chaos is out. Anyma at the Fyre. Taylor Swift inhaled a bug. That's on here. And then Will Ferrell and Swedish House Mafia combined. And we'll see how long this episode goes. But it's a nice little return episode. But yeah, let's get into it. ODESZA at the Gorge. Once again, unreal. I already kind of spoke about it a bit, but to be able to see them the second to last show of this tour was awesome. I'm pretty sure they started the tour in Phoenix, and I was at that show, and there were moments of that show that were great, but it honestly more of a personal thing. I wasn't entirely locked in. The lawn situation, I felt really far back at that Phoenix show. Still really enjoyed it. And when I say I wasn't locked in, I mean I was kind of on some shrooms. And I had to go sit down for a bit on the grass and, just a little bit of a come up. But, so that was personal error, not them. And then, 2 years go by, almost, and they are ending this show in the Gorge. Shout out to my buddies Otis and Zaria for making me get a ticket. Kind of peer pressuring me into doing that. They usually try to do that with shows, and it worked for this one. It was only $80 for a lawn seat or whatever, but yeah, and then it crept up pretty quick. So my personal trip, we went up to Portland, or I went up to Portland on the 4th of July and then drove up from there with the homies. And let me just say that part of the country is insane. The Columbia River that it's on, beautiful. Took a dip in there on the way back. But the Pacific Northwest, I'd never been to that part of the country, and my God, it was beautiful. I kept saying that, and then everyone kept reminding me. It's well, you're in the best part of the year. It rains 300 days out of the year here, and I was oh shit, never mind. I was I think I want to start a family here. And then everyone's it rains a lot, and I'm just okay, never mind. No thanks. I am not a fan of the rain. You would think, being from Arizona, here we get 300 days of sun, right? 300 days of rain? Whoa. Balloons. 300 days of rain would I would be more depressed than I've ever been, probably 10x what I was last year, you know what I mean? But anyway, also, haven't even mentioned my cowboy hat. Got this at this show I was working in Pine Top, for free, actually. I had a baseball hat on, and then this hat was like right here above me on my desk, and I was like, I'll just fucking wear this shit. So, hope it looks good. But yeah, the Gorge, what a fucking crazy place. I mean, who chose that spot to put an amphitheater, right? Like, to get there, you're driving along the river, some parts, the highway turns, you miss it, and then you like reconnect with it, and it's just like, whoever chose that spot, though, pretty good spot to put a goddamn amphitheater. It's like kind of insane. It sounds like one of those crazy ideas that you tell your friends when you're like really fucked up, or like you're camping and you're just like off your shits, and you're like, what if we just put a venue here? And that's basically what the Gorge feels like. Crazy section of the river. It's like kind of at like a double curve thing, so it's very open, and you're camping on like this cliff and have to kind of like hike down. It was like a 20 minute walk from our campsite, but it was a 40-minute walk back because we didn't know how the fuck to get back, so that sucked. And a lot of our neighbors didn't either, so I don't know. For a bunch of first timers though, probably. But yeah, the camping situation's dope. We were actually under a goddamn floodlight, so that wasn't dope. But yeah, walked into the show, saw, I think we missed Golden Features, but saw Drama, Bob Moses, and then ODESZA. 20,000 people, just the most electric shit ever. I can't even really put into words, or like pictures don't even do it justice. Like, if you've never been, when you walk into the venue, when you finally get into the venue, you're not actually quite there yet. You're like walking on this pathway. It's like a recreational area or something. You're like, where the hell is it? And then you just follow this path up this hill, and then you get to the top of the hill and look down, and it's like, whoa, like just a marvelous view. Again, can't even really put into words, but it just kind of like captures you for a moment there. There's actually a video of me. There's not even music playing, but I'm just like, I've got like the bass face on, just staring out into the Gorge. Like, it was nuts. And ODESZA did really good. They worked in a lot of Summer's Gone. They played How Did I Get Here really early. And visually it was awesome. And we actually started off near the back, and it kind of felt like my experience in Phoenix at their show. And it sucked because one of the speakers for the lawn wasn't working. So it's kind of like a giant lawn, a pathway, more lawn, and then there's like the bottom pit seating area that if you're down there, that would be crazy. Honestly, if I did go back to the Gorge, I would want to be down there. But yeah, it was we were up there in like the tall speakers that were pointing at the lawn. The one that was closest to us was broken, so we were just hearing straight from the stage, and that kind of sucked. So we hung out there for a few songs, and then looking back on it, I was talking to my buddies about this. Like, there was no shot in hell we were going to stay at the back of the lawn. Repositioned a couple times. I had to lay down a couple times. Long set. Long set, hot, no food. What are you going to do? But finished it strong. But man, they did fireworks for a moment apart. They did Light of Day, and there were these towers at the top of the hill with like lasers, and the lasers were shooting like across the river on the other side of the river. So like the little gorge that it's in is like fucking crazy that there were lasers coming from the stage and then lasers from the top of the hill. These like little laser towers were like, what the hell are those for? Cameras or something? And they shot them and the lights were so strong they went completely to the opposite side of the river and shined on the rocks back there. And then they put their symbol back there, and at the end of the show they put "There Is No Last Goodbye" on the rocks on the other side of the fucking river. Crazy. But what I liked the most about it was that they didn't overuse those things too. Like, they had those lasers set up for the entire show and only used it for like a 5-8 minute portion of the set. And I like how they did that. They didn't overuse. Because it makes those moments special. Like, if you were launching fireworks off like every few songs, it's like, all right, by the end of it we're tired of this. But like, not using fireworks for like, 115 minutes or whatever, 100 minutes, and then just popping off fireworks is like absolutely insane. Same with the lasers. But man, a lot of VIPs. The Bronson section was dope. And just, I don't know, it was cool going because they're like the artists that really got me into EDM, them and Flume. And to be able to witness this last show, second to last show of the tour, really the last show though, because the last night, they did 3 nights at the Gorge. The last night it was live streamed, and then the crowd there didn't get to see the last goodbye because a fire broke out. So I wasn't at the Fyre one, I was at the one before, and we were driving back from the Gorge the next day, and I asked my buddies, like, do you think because after the show ended, they lasered "There Is No Last Goodbye" on the rocks on the other side of the river. Again, words don't even do it justice, but it's fucking insane. And then I asked them, do you think they shined that for night 3 because they literally didn't get to see the last goodbye live, the song, the title track? And Otis, my buddy, goes, that is the perfect amount of fucked up for my humor. But there is no last goodbye for night 3 because a fire broke out and they couldn't see the song. It's kind of mean, but it's kind of funny too. But anyways, John Summit's album Comforting Chaos is out. I gave it like a skim. I really just listened to all the new songs, but I need to go back and listen to it like all the way through, because everything that he said sounds like there was a lot of intention put into this album. He wanted to make something that people will remember, soundtrack to people's lives, which I would say he already is, like, in a way, a soundtrack to people's lives, just the last few years. Human, Shiver, etc. And he really goes all over the place with it too, like a little bit of D&B, a little bit of fucking everything is in there. It's like house and tech house and techno, like, and then their adjacent sort of genres are all present in this shit, and it is just insane. A little bit of garage, some pop. It's melodic, It's got a lot of range, and that's what I do really admire about it, and admire about him for taking that risk. And at least for now, it seems pretty well received. All the album parties that they did looked cool. But he's in the news for dating Ashton Earl, the TikToker, and everyone seems to be obsessed with it. And I follow it enough to know what's going on, but like talking about it, I'm like, I really don't. I'm like, please get off my feed. I'm not hating. I'm just saying. I'm looking for videos to post on my socials and like funny rave shit. And last night I was on TikTok and I was just like, oh, Jake Shane, Alex Earl, Ashton Earl, John Summit doing a TikTok dance with them. I'm just like, I'm happy for y'all. Honestly, would love to be there partying with y'all. But I'm looking for other shit here. I'm looking for things to post. I'm looking for other shit. I know. It's like, I get it. TikTok. I get it. The algorithm. Algorithm. I get it. Show me something else, please. But I'm happy for them. But he's been in the news for that, bro. And people are like, do you think he's just dating her to help with the PR for his new album? It's like, my God. This generation. Nothing can happen without there being some sort of conspiracy or alternative motive. It's like, can he just put out an album and then party in Montauk and like make out with her without people putting the tinfoil hats on? It's ridiculous. But shout out to him. He just announced this show in Phoenix at Rawhide August 30th. My God, I'm actually like dead set on going. I signed up for the pre-sale. I don't know the last time there was like a one-off show in AZ or just a concert or a tour that I was like, I need to go to as much as I am this. So, you know, you can pencil me in as a tech house bro, as a normie, as whatever you want, but I'm gonna be there vibing. Okay, so you can judge, you can perceive me, but I don't give a fuck. Shout out to that guy. Shout out to John. Come on the pod, brother. Another big headline: Anyma is doing the Fyre, first EDM artist, New Year's Eve. It's going the fuck down. My friend sent it to me and was like, eyballs emoji, and I was like, no. I'd love, if it was ODESZA, I'd probably start an OnlyFans just to be able to go and like do it up, you know, for New Year's, like few days, pool. I don't know if you can even swim in New Year's in Vegas though, but probably, maybe, I don't know. Nice hotel, floor seats, OnlyFans, you know what I mean? But Anyma, as much as I would love to see Anyma live, and as much as I loved Genesis 1 and 2, both albums bangers, although part 2 just had a few new songs and a lot of remixes. The remixes though were sick. Yeah, the Tale of Us visuals, Anyma's visuals at the Sphere, it's gonna be like a milestone moment for EDM and entertainment and like stage production for sure, because no one does visuals like electronic music, and no one does live production like electronic music, and that might be like sort of a naive or narrow-minded thing to say, but that's just based off my observation. Like, a lot of artists care a fuck ton about what's going on the screen behind them, and it's all organized. Each song has, you know, to match this right tempo, and there's all these crazy transitions, and the visuals have to be like boom 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 as it's happening, so that's sick. But he's gonna go crazy. So the inclusion of special guests will highlight the concluding performance of Genesis. Oh yeah, the concert is billed as the end of Genesis, so shutting down this era, probably the right move and the right marketing behind it if we want to get really fucking cringe and get into the industry talk, but probably the right move even musically, because let me just like make sure I'm not tripping. Like Anyma or Genesis 1, 14 tracks, you know, Welcome to the Opera, Siren, Save Me, The Sign, right? And then, oh no, part 2 was Pictures of You. Okay, so part 2, let me correct myself. Part 2 was a bunch of new, was 10 originals. And then remixes of songs from Genesis 1 Yeah. So that's what got my brain mixed up. So any like Anyma Tale of Us like super fans who are like this guy does no shit. Sorry, I apologize. But yeah, it's gonna be fucking crazy. The the visuals on the outer like side of the sphere, the outer surface of the sphere are fucking crazy. I wonder, like, I need to know how many crashes that shit has caused, because like driving in Vegas and then just seeing like that thing like looking out of the fucking bubble, it looks so real. Alright, lastly, I haven't even fucking read this article just because the headline was so ridiculous. I also got it on a Google alert on my Gmail. I like music news. I never fucking use those stories because they're always ridiculous. Not even ridiculous, just boring. And I clicked on, I honestly like rarely even read it because I know, but I'm like too lazy to like turn off the alert because I'm like, well, what if something happens? And something happened. Taylor Swift accidentally inhales a bug. Has the rest of the headline is has piano malfunction and debuts dresses in Milan, but like she inhaled a bug. How do we know that? Did she tell us? Did she? What the fuck was that sound? About a mute billboard. She was in Milan. A brief insect interruption happened Saturday. Oh, fuck you, billboard. It's fucking... Oh, okay, never mind. The pop icon, no stranger to an unfortunate run-in with a bug on a massive tour that's made its way to many an outdoor stadium, wasn't surprised. I knew it would happen because there's so many bugs here tonight, she told the crowd, pausing for a moment and then explaining the protocol. I just need to cough a little bit. Wait, let me watch this fucking video. Oh, she's sitting at the piano. Okay, that would have been insane if it was in the middle of like a dancing number and she just like collapsed on the floor. That's a dark thought. Not like she was gonna die or anything, just like choke and just like, maybe not collapse, but just like in the middle of the dance routine just had to like stop and cough. But she was sitting at a piano. Okay, still fucking hilarious. I mean, I'm glad she's okay. I don't want any of my boys, or honestly wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy, dog, swallowing a bug. But I'm glad she made it through. Alright, the last story. Swedish House Mafia to DJ at Will Ferrell's Ultimate DJ House Party Cancer Charity event. The video promoting this shit was so funny. Will Ferrell sitting there at the desktop, with his sunglasses on. A lot of people don't know his wife is Swedish, so their kids' names are fucking like super Swedish, like Matthias and something else. I think he's got a bunch of little boys. Honestly, that'd be crazy if Will Smith was your dad. But they're doing it for Cancer for College. It's a organization that helps give scholarships to kids who've beat cancer or battled cancer. And yeah, they're like, this article says that they are, teasing multiple artists, but I wonder if they're actually gonna have like a lineup of people, or if they are just referring to Axwell, Sebastian Grosso, and Steve Angelo. But it'll be cool. It's in Chicago at the Wintrust Arena. There's VIP packages with photo opportunities, red carpet experience, food, premium seating, The organization was formed 30 years ago by his college friend, Craig Pollard, a 3-time cancer survivor. So, that's cool as fuck. And I bet you, like, I wonder whose idea it was to get Swedish House Mafia, because it all makes sense, right? His wife's Swedish, he's been there a lot, knows a lot about the culture. Maybe he, like, listens to them, or maybe his son was like, yo, I could see them being his son's favorites, because, like, he's Swedish, and getting into, his mom's Swedish, and, like, getting into EDM, Swedish House Mafia being, like, one of the major players, like, that being your favorite, so that'll probably be dope. Shout out to them, raising some money for cancer, and Will Ferrell's gonna be there, so they better bring his ass out. That shit would be hilarious, because Swedish House Mafia uses that long ass table, and, like, just imagine him taking up a spot, like, dancing. Is really funny. But yeah, that's this episode. Quickie today. I appreciate you listening. That's Fyre episode 93. My name's JD. I got a southern twang now. And like, subscribe, all that bullshit. Thank you, and see you next week.